Hello. I'm here. I apologize. I had to push it back some time because a sister was doing some stuff and then the time goes so fast. You're like, oh wait, so I'm here. I'm here and we can talk about a few things. I got the pictures up my thumbnail and ready to get into some stuff. Earlier we were talking about um, Tim Scott. That's where I left off at, and that was truly something interesting in itself. So we've got Tim Scott and Larry Elder, um, and I wanted to go a little bit deeper as far as so are the Black Republicans on board with this? These are the choices. Is there someone else that you have um, or looking at as far as like what you see happening? Are we planning on doing anything different? Or are we just going to continue to allow people to run our community when they've long left our community? And I say that mentally, not spiritually. So, um, you're more than welcome to join me. If not, it's okay. I could still get down. I know it's late for a lot of people. It's Monday morning for a lot of people. So I bid you, good night, good rest. So let's get started. Let's talk about Mr. Tim Scott. Let's get into that. All right. Let me share my screen real quick. Let me go into something. Do do do. I apologize. My energy level has kind of gone down a little bit, but I'll be getting there soon enough. I'll get where I need to go, no doubt. And thank you for even coming in and checking it out and listening. But like I said, I do think it's necessary for us to have these discussions. Who are we going to allow to continue to run the things that are going on? Um, but I will say this. Here is, um, I think his name is Vivek Ramaswamy, and I didn't add him. He is a person of color, no doubt. I do believe he's East Indian. But shout out to, I don't know if CNN gonna try to come for my neck, but I wanted to add him to the mix as well. He's also running for office. And do we want him in office? And that's what we have to ask ourselves. Who are these people? Shout out to CNN. Um,
Joining me now is
so we can just kind of, we're gonna go with that. We're gonna go with, hey, let's find out who is out here trying to take the reins of our country and move on to the next.
2024 presidential candidate, Vivek Ramaswamy. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, sir. I want to start with what I began the program with, which is this racist shooter killing 3 Black people in Jacksonville yesterday. What is your reaction to the shooting?
Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute, being that I'm a news junkie. Wait a minute. Hold on. We got to pause for a second. I heard it was a shooting, but I was not sure um, what this is. Okay, so we've got a little bit of information here. We're gonna kind of ride with it. Let's go and my condolences to those who have lost their life. That's horrifying to me.
It is such a tragedy, and my heart goes out to those families. This should not be happening in the United States of America, and it is wrong. The reality is we have a mental health epidemic in this country. There are reports that this particular individual, the perpetrator, was indeed evaluated for mental health deficiencies as well.
So is racism a mental health problem? Was he defending himself? Was he doing those particular things to was there somebody attacking him? Let's see.
And I think we need to have the courage in this country to bring back a practice of putting back psychiatrically ill people who pose a risk to their communities into psychiatric institutions, not just drugging them up, but faith-based approaches and other approaches that fill our longing for purpose and meaning in this country. I think it is just a shame that we even have mass shootings like this, be it the one that happened in Florida, be it the recent one, the Nashville shooter in a Christian school, killing 6 in a school. We have to address that mental health epidemic, and we need leaders with the courage to do it. But my heart goes out to those families, and I hope something like this never happens again.
Mental health is one aspect of these shootings, and apparently, and we're still learning a lot about what happened. The facts are still coming out. Also, this was very much apparently racially motivated. The sheriff there said point blank that this shooter had manifestos coming, 3 manifestos, and said specifically that he went to this dollar store with the intent of killing Black people.
I think that is heinous and deserves to be called out for what it is. The reality is we've created such a racialized culture in this country in the last several years that right as the last few burning embers of racism were burning out, we have a culture in this country.
Say what? So racism started just this year. Hold on, yo. Wait a minute. Are you serious right now? I think this man's serious. Hey, y'all, I think this man's serious. He said that this is new. Let's go.
Largely created by media and establishment and universities and politicians that throw kerosene on that racism. And I can think of no better way to fuel racism in this country than to take something away from other people on the basis of their skin color. I've been saying.
Hey, Cleo, what's up? Thank you for coming through. Let me throw. I'm running on high low energy, so I appreciate y'all. Y'all know that. But dude is like, oh no, this just happened. What you mean? Where my boy at? What you mean? So it just started today? And I apologize. I really was not aware of the shooting, caught up in my head, doing my thing, doing what I got to do. And why we go. Let's go. Here we go.
Saying that for years. And I think that is driving, sadly, a new wave of anti-Black and anti-Hispanic racism in this country. I think the right way forward is if we want to stop hate and discrimination on the basis of race, let's stop discriminating on the basis of race and see what unites us as Americans, because I do not think this kind of...
Is he 100%? Is he real? That's what I want to know. What? Bruh. I got so many questions. Hold on, let's go.
Racial division and any division is good for us as the United States.
I believe that there are a lot of people of color in this country who don't think it was just lasting embers of racism, but that a lot more work had to be done, particularly given the history of the systemic racism in this country with slavery and beyond. I want to ask you about a comment that you made about white supremacy in Iowa on Friday.
I've never once encountered that yet. I'm sure the
I'm sure the boogeyman white supremacist exists somewhere in America. I've just never met him. Never seen one. Never met one in my life, right? Maybe I'll meet a unicorn sooner. And maybe those exist too.
Really, sir?
So just because somebody hasn't encountered one doesn't mean that
it ain't true.
the
Come
notion of
on,
white
sis.
supremacy doesn't exist as a threat in America. What do you think goes through the minds of the families of the 3 victims in yesterday's shooting when they hear you say that white supremacy is basically a fantasy?
Yeah, fix
I'm
that.
sure they're grieving for their loss, and I don't want to politicize those victims. Dana, this is a very sensitive situation where we should have nothing but foremost respect for those victims and not bring them into partisan politics. But I was responding to a question where someone asked me, what racism have I experienced in recent years? And I answered honestly. Most of that racism has come from the modern left.
What?
It's happening during the course of this campaign. Kara Swisher calling me Rama Smarmy the other day and reveling in making twists of my last name. People.
Is he comparing racism and the fact that somebody said, I went to just take out these people because they are Black, to somebody messing your last name up? Come on, maybe while I was, I don't know, maybe I had some crack. I don't know. Maybe I'm not quite understanding and gathering in my brain. What? Let's go. There's some wild stuff. Let's go. But this is the representation of the Republican Party. And like I said, please, if you are a Republican, if you are a conservative, I want to know who you're going to vote for. Because these are the people that's out here saying they want to run the United States. Let's go. And he up here talking about white supremacists and unicorns. What is this? What is this?
Effectively reducing me to the color of my skin and my attributes. That comes today from the modern left. But the reality is,
do you
this is
acknowledge,
part of
though,
a
that white
dogma in this
supremacy
country.
does still exist in the United States?
I acknowledge that all forms of racial animus exist in the United States, including fringe branches. I mean, that's clearly what was at the head of this mentally deranged individual responsible for this shooting, yes. But I think there are many forms of mental derangement that cause us to see one another on the basis of our skin color and our attributes. And I think what we need to revive, Dana, and it's my job as the leader, hopefully as the next president, to do this, to revive our doctrine of e pluribus unum. Not just celebrating our diversity and our skin deep attributes, but celebrating what unites us across that diversity. That's what we've forgotten in the United States of America. Our true strength is the set of ideals that unite us.
Are you for real?
That's my job to revive as our next president.
First off, sir, them Republicans don't care because you Republican. They don't want you to be the president. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me, young peoples? Please put a one in the chat if you can. Hey. Sorry, I'm sorry. That's ugly, but I just wanted to know. Hold on. Hey. Okay, cool. You can hear me. You can hear me. Oh my gosh. Child. All right. Thank y'all. Thank you. Let's get back into it. Let's get back into it. I have to, we might have to derail just a little bit. I want to know more about what happened in Jacksonville. So we're gonna kind of play into that as well, which will tie into this. I wonder if there was any remarks from Tim Scott and Larry Elder. So these all three of these men of color are running for president. Okay. All three. Thank you for still being here. My bad, y'all. I had some issues. I am I'll drop the link in here if anybody wants to come up and talk. Blah blah blah. Skip skip. Um, but we're gonna get into it. We're gonna keep going because I am blown away, sir. You got me out here blown away. I'm blown away. Let me see. Let me share my screen. Okay. Let me see. Is it gonna let me? Let's do it that way. Oh, okay, great, 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 great. Cause see, I wasn't seeing it. I just want to hear what this dude got to say, child. Let's go. What kind of crack is he on? Is he in the same country? I don't think he in the same country, y'all. I don't know what he saw. Now, don't get me wrong. It's okay, especially now in the last 20 years, that you could go through life and not experience blatant, racism. However, there is way too much knowledge out here that you can empathize with others and what they have gone through. I'm not in another country. However, I'm a human being and I can empathize when your government is not doing what they said they're going to do. And this goes back to what I said before. Where is our agenda? What exactly do we want the government to do? And what I mean by that is from the bottom, meaning your city, your county, your state, and then federal. Because again, these we are small countries within a large continent. And that is why it's called the United States, because we weren't united. The South wanted to keep things the way they wanted to. The East was like, nah, but we are, but kind of not. And then out West, it was like, man, it is what it is, bro. You come out here, anything could happen to you. Again, the largest populations in this country are in the South, the North, and the Northeast. Stop playing in my face and telling me it's swimming out here. That's snow when it's not. Let's go. Oh my. Okay, CNN. Okay. Shout out. Ooh, he gonna try to dance out of this one. He gonna try to dance. He about to he trying to Michael Jackson smooth criminal right out of what he just said. Child, let's go. Let me go back. I want to hear her say this again. And everybody, for the people in the back, let's listen. Here's what they said. Yeah, call him out. Can y'all hear this? Okay, hold on, y'all. I don't know why though. That's weird. Hold on. Why? Okay. Hold on. Maybe I got to do it a different way. Hold on, guys. Let me kick out this part and I'm going to share my screen another way. Hold on. Okay. Share screen. Okay, here we go. Now, tell me if you can hear it. I'm going to rewind a little bit.
What racism have I experienced in recent years? And I answered honestly. Most of that racism has come from the modern left. It's happening during the
Tell me
course
if you
of
guys
this
can hear
campaign.
it.
Kara Swisher calling me Rama Smarmy the other day. And
Did you guys hear that? Let me know before we go any further. Okay, so you did hear it. Okay, great. So that I'm not just running my mouth to myself, blown away by myself. All right, so let's listen to this young man again. Here is what he said. Thank y'all for telling me. Thank y'all so much. All right, here we go.
Reveling in making twists of my last name. People effectively reducing me to the color of my skin and my attributes. That comes today from the modern left. But the reality is,
do you
this is
acknowledge,
part of
though,
a
that white
dogma in this
supremacy
country.
does still exist in the United States?
The FBI said so.
I acknowledge that all forms of racial animus exist in the United States, including fringe branches. I mean, that's clearly what was at the head of this mentally deranged individual responsible for this shooting, yes. But I think there are many forms of mental derangement that cause us to see one another on the basis of our skin color and our attributes.
So it's mental deranged. So the reason why racism exists is because everybody is mentally ill. So the ancestors of the people who are actually still living right now were a part of telling us what water fountains we could drink out of, what neighborhoods we could live in, what schools we could go to, what jobs we can have, what education we allowed to have, what kind of health care we are allowed to have. But it ain't based on color, right? This just based on I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about. But let's go because I want y'all to hear this other great part.
And I think what we need to revive, Dana, and it's my job as the leader, hopefully as the next president, to do this.
No.
To revive our doctrine of e pluribus unum.
You are not.
Not just celebrating our diversity and our skin deep attributes, but celebrating what unites us across that diversity. That's what we've forgotten in the United States of America. Our true strength is the set of ideals that unite us. That's my job to revive as our next president. And I think that the next generation in particular is so starved for that, starved for commonality, starved for a nation that is unified, bigger than the sum of its parts. That's what we need to recreate in this country. And to those who say the remedy to past discrimination is present discrimination, I say no. The right remedy is actually abandoning all discrimination and moving forward with colorblind meritocracy in the United States of America.
You took it to another level on Friday. In addition to the comment we played,
this brother
you took issue with comments from Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley. She reportedly said, quote, "We don't need any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice." About that, you said, "These are the words of the modern grand wizards of the modern KKK." You know, I'm sure the KKK was responsible for more than a century's worth of horrific lynchings, rapes, murders of Black people. How in any way are the views you're talking about comparable to the views and atrocities committed by the KKK?
What I said is the grand wizards of the KKK would be proud of what they would hear her say, because there's nothing more racist than saying that your skin color predicts something about the content of your viewpoints or your ideas. You didn't just say they would be proud. You said these are the words of the modern grand wizards of the modern KKK. It is the same spirit. You're right about that, Dana. I think it is the same spirit to say that I can look at you and based on just your skin color, that I know something about the content of your character, that I know something about the content of the viewpoints you're allowed to express. For Ayanna Pressley to tell me that because of my skin color, I can't express my views, that is wrong. It is divisive. It is driving hate in this country. This is dividing our country to a breaking point.
That is a debate that is based on nonviolent discussion. That you just said you're using rhetoric, which she said she's using rhetoric. That's one thing. And another thing is to say that she represents and she is a modern version of the KKK, which, as you know, was dedicated to the subjugation and violence against Black people. How on earth is she a modern grand wizard of that kind of organization?
Let's be intellectually honest and get to the heart of what this debate ought to be about. There is a worldview that says that the remedy to past discrimination is present discrimination.
Who said?
That if you're Black or brown, you have to have a particular point of view.
No.
That's from Ibram Kendi. That's from Ayanna Pressley, the people I quoted in my speech yesterday.
But can you have an intellectually honest conversation
of who you are,
when you accuse her of being a grand wizard of the KKK? Can you have that intellectually honest discussion?
Why would you
with that kind of rhetoric?
Yes, I can, Dana, because the point I'm highlighting is that even the people who, in good spirit, we all agree that the KKK was an awful organization that is a toxic stain in our national history. So given that we can start from that point of agreement, now that allows us to say, well, who actually sounds more like that organization?
What kind of liquor? Listen, hold on. What? So you are saying to me at this very moment that what this Black woman said, which was true, we don't need any more brown faces, Black or brown, whatever color you are in between, who do not want to be a brown or Black or beige or caramel voice. Our children are still uneducated. Our families are not being taken care of. Our health system is trash. We still have food deserts. We still got kids going to bed hungry every night. We still have parents that cannot get jobs or cannot get assistance because they make $1 too much. This is what I mean by we want to have discussions about shenanigans. We better pay attention to what these people doing out here before we mess up and get somebody even more exciting than Trump. How about that? Atay, let's go.
Today, the people who are calling for more racial discrimination on the basis of skin color. So yes, I think that is an intellectually useful starting point for a provocative discussion that we need to have in this country.
The whole point is the KKK wasn't just about rhetoric.
We have to speak openly.
They lynched people, they murdered people, they raped people, they burned their homes.
And that was wrong.
Simply because So
wrong.
Okay, so again,
that is obviously a wrong thing.
If you want to have an intellectual discussion, do you think that maybe comparing her to the Grand Wizard and the notion of what she said to being a modern leader of the KKK was maybe a step too far, or you stand by what you said?
I stand by what I said to provoke an open and honest discussion in this country. Because there is a gap, Dana, between what people will say in private today and
I hear the same type of rhetoric out here on these YouTube streets. I hear it. So it doesn't matter whether you dressed up on with a suit on or whether you don't. Are you serious? This man up here talking about, hey, what she said about me compares to what? Come on. We almost done with this. This man, it makes me, I said it. This man is nuts. Okay? Somebody that had too many fruity flakes in their life, and this is what they feel they can say comfortably. Like, it's insane. It's insane to me.
And what they will say in public. I think we need to close that gap. I think we need to have real, open, honest, raw conversation as Americans. That is our path to national unity. And there are many Americans today who are deeply frustrated by the new culture of anti-racism that's really racism in new clothing. And we need to have that debate in the open. Dana, I think that you're doing, with due respect, what many in the media do, picking on some fringe comment in the context of a broader context.
What is it? What's the context?
All right, so you just said that your comment was fringe.
Let's have the courage to confront the meat of that. I'm saying you drew a fringe comment from a much longer speech. As I described you picking one fringe comment from a long speech that I gave to duck debate from the real issue that I think you don't want to have, Dana, because I think you probably agree with me on this, that this is toxic rhetoric from leading politicians on dividing us on the basis of race. And I want to have the open debate.
I think this debate is fascinating and interesting and opening and important. What I did was
I do too.
Explain to our viewers that you were asked a question and you took it to a point where you called a sitting member of Congress who is Black, who was having discussions about race, calling her the modern grand wizard of the KKK. And I'm just not sure how that's open and honest discussion.
Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. So we're going to jump over here to MSNBC. Shout out to MSNBC. Don't copyright me. Let's go.
Joining me now is the aforementioned Dr. Ibram X. Kendi, professor and founding director of the Boston University Center for Anti-Racist Research. Kendi is also a New York Times bestselling author of multiple books, including the New York Times bestseller, How to Be an Anti-Racist. Ibram, you and I have had lots of opportunities to talk. I didn't think this would be one of them where I'm inviting you on air to disavow whether or not you have any affiliations or connections with the KKK. So let's just take the portion of your book that Vivek Ramaswamy quoted. It reads as following: the remedy for past discrimination is present discrimination. The remedy to present discrimination is future discrimination, end quote. This is from your book. Ramaswamy says that's racism. Explain.
Well, in the book, actually, I define discrimination, and I go to great lengths talking about a scenario in which, for instance, during the COVID 2020, during the COVID pandemic, it was important for us to provide vaccine first for elderly people because they were the most likely to be dying as a result of COVID-19. That can be described as age discrimination, but it actually was an equitable policy that saved lives.
Right.
And similarly, when Black people are deprived and have been deprived for centuries of rights and resources, how does it create equity?
Thank you, sir. It's like trying to get over a bridge and somebody keeps stacking sandbags on the bridge. And then when you get close to taking them down, here they come, ready to build it back up. And they can't tell you why. They can't tell you why. Other than fear. Other than fear. They cannot tell you why. They continue to put barriers and things in front of us that allow us to not just be the single ones or the ones of us who slide through or push through those sandbags and we actually make it. However, they don't even give us the time to turn around and take down more sandbags so that we can let more people through. Because we aren't the same on every level. We aren't all living in the same neighborhoods. We are not all getting the same education. There is nothing fair about what is going on in the United States as we speak today. And I ask again, if Black Republicans, and I'm calling y'all out, if you have a better way of living, then why not come and share with the rest of the crowd? What is it that your plan is? Who is your candidate? What's the agenda? When do we get there? When do we get there? But so if we don't fight intellectually, if we don't fight physically, and what I mean by that is building our own, it is time. I don't know what else Black people need to see and to know. We talk about leaders out here in this space. We talk about this, we talk about that. Well, I don't need no leader. You already putting your life in the hands of other human beings. The house you in, did you build it? The electricity that you got running through your house, do you run that? No. The grocery stores, do you have a stake in those? We eat what they feed us. We put our children in their schools. We give their colleges money. We wear the clothes they make for us. And that's it. The cars that we drive belong to them, not us. That's why they so easily can come and repo it. And just because some of us squeeze through the tight holes or tight crevices and make it into certain spaces, that has not meant that Black folks have equality. And y'all know it. And we sit here and pretend and play out here online, offline, and we act like everything is going to just one day automatically, boom, everything's going to be all right. Come on. We say things like, oh, I'm not doing this for no man. I ain't doing this for no woman. I ain't doing this. They made my kids. We were all children at one time. Some of us had people that were inspirational in our lives, and some of us did not get that at all. Some of us grew up with certain privileges, and some of us did not. But we all can say that we all know how the world, well, I shouldn't say the world. We all know how our government looks at us as Black people in this community, in this structure. We know it. And I can't express the disappointment that even now in 2023, we don't have a candidate that we done got behind and brought to the forefront. You, unless you are personally going to run for office, when you say things like, I don't need no leaders, or I govern myself. No, you don't. You are living within the chasm of the fever dream that is what is the United States. This is someone else's vision, not ours. So it is a necessary and incumbent for us to take some type of accountability and control and begin to build something instead of pointing the fingers at each other and go, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I don't want them to have it. They shouldn't have it. Not one remedy is going to stop what is happening or has happened in our community. It's always going to be sections of people who don't want to do right, who want to do chaos, who want to do crime, whatever you want to say. However, if there are opportunities within our communities, then yeah, we can start to see who is popping up for air and who's not, because that's all that's gonna happen. I ain't knocking Mr. Abraham X Kennedy. However, I want to get into the people that think it is necessary or deem all of a sudden that we shouldn't.
Joining me now is 2024 presidential candidate.
Impressed with him, nor was I ever. I don't think he is a good guy. I think he's full of it. I think he is just like any other grifter that's out here. And that's just it. That's what I think. That is what I think. Now, I don't know who spoke on this, but I do want to find out. We'll come back to Tim Scott in a second. I want to know more about what happened in Jacksonville. And I don't know if I'm even spelling that right. So I know I can only show so much. So we'll just go to their news. This was a day ago. I was not aware. I see everybody kind of did something on it, but I'm trying to get the most info. Okay, so this is actually in Florida. Let's go Channel 10, Tampa Bay. And let's see what the sister's going to tell us.
Right now, deputies are investigating what the sheriff says is a racially motivated shooting at a Dollar General in Jacksonville. Officials say 3 people and the shooter are dead. Just hours ago, during a press conference, Jacksonville's sheriff said the shooter, who was a white male in his 20s, traveled from Clay County armed with a Glock and an AR-15 style rifle, one of which had a swastika carved into it. They say the shooter left multiple manifestos detailing his hatred for Black people and saying he intentionally set out to shoot them. The 3 people killed in today's shooting were all Black.
We must do everything that we can. We must do everything that we can to dissuade this type of hate.
But we're not, though. We're not. We don't want to have the conversation. How is it that a person can drive from one county to the next and just take the lives of, and see, this is the thing. When someone does something like this, and now you're going to wonder what the retaliation is going to be. Now you're going to wonder, oh, well, we ain't supposed to do nothing. We're not supposed to fight. We're not supposed to do anything to protect each other any longer. Oh, well, this is just a one-off. How many mass shootings has it been? But we don't want to talk about the fact that the people who make these machines to eliminate, they don't want health checks. They don't want mental health checks. They don't want a national database because it's going to mess with their profits. Why is it so easy to get these machine weapons that are for the military? So much damage. And we sit talking about we don't need assistance in our community. We don't need to start to come together. What's up, Nightish? Yeah, exactly. But we don't want to have that conversation. No one wants to be honest about the fact that we need to protect our people. We need to start networking across the board. We need to start pulling from how it is they have decided. These are human beings that have decided and declared war on us as people of color, Black Americans, no one else. No one else. They have gone across state lines, county lines. This isn't new. Come on, man. Oh, this too heavy. We don't need to talk about this. What's that gonna do? If you don't stand for something, you will stand for anything. And that's the truth. And it may not be a popular opinion, and people might think, oh, wow, why you gotta be so. Yes, I'm pissed. Because I'm tired of seeing this. And then I hear people in these spaces talking crazy about our own folk. They didn't deserve anything less than to live their lives the way they wanted to. Them people got up going, hey, I'm going over here. I'm trying to do this. I'm going grocery shopping. And this man could walk in here and take people's lives. And he was such a punk. And he was so weak that he took his own. He deleted himself. And if these folks is willing, to me, that's terrorism. That is domestic terrorism. What the FBI has been saying secretly for years, that we have terrorist groups within the midst that are here to destroy and take away and delete those of us who are Black Americans. I apologize. I just, I don't know how we keep doing this. I don't know how we keep doing it and saying with a straight face that we okay. We okay. We keep doing this and we saying we okay. And I don't understand. I don't get it. We don't want change. Is that what it is? But you could tell me I want a Black utopia. Y'all quick to tell me I'm living in a dream. I'm hurt, I think. I think I'm just disgusted and hurt. And I'm just so tired of seeing my people having to be on the news crying. If it ain't a young man or a young woman whose life has been taken by authorities, if it ain't a mass deletion with weapons that should not be in the hands of everyday Americans. If you are not in the military, you shouldn't have access to these weapons. When's the last time anybody invaded America? This ain't the 1600s. This ain't the 1800s. When has the last time anybody from any other country has come here and invaded these are terrorists that live among us. I feel like I want to cry. I'm just being 100. I feel like I want to cry. Because that could have been somebody I knew. I got family in Florida. I got family a little bit everywhere. I have friends who live a little bit everywhere. I usually don't stay behind my avatar. I usually try to come up on camera, but I'm done. I'm so done. I'm so exhausted by the rhetoric. I'm so exhausted that I have been all over the space trying to meet people, like-minded people, talk about our community. We're so quick to blame Black women, and we so quick to say, oh, there's no accountability. Black women don't care about Black men's problems. Well, I say this, y'all full of shit. And you know, that's just how I feel. And I apologize if anybody is bothered by my comments, but I stand by them. This is disgusting. How long do we do this? Who we waiting on? So we just ain't gonna do nothing. We're just gonna keep waiting. For who? I don't know. I'm so blown away by the lack of accountability. You want to lead us as Black women, but you don't want to stand next to each other and give us the opportunity to be better and have better. I'm just so I don't know where to go. My emotions is on 1,000. I'm trying to get my head right because I don't understand it. I don't get it anymore. I don't get it. We have ignored these problems for way too long as a community. We talk about young men deleting each other in the community. How can they? With what? Where they get them from? We don't manufacture this. We not making these. I remember you could go to Walmart and you could get one, no questions. You ain't hunting nobody. Now, protecting your family is one thing, but this is not what's happening. And why we keep pretending like it is not important for us to find out who are these people in these particular offices who are allowing this to continue. And when are we going to say something or do something about it? And I hear out here all the time, the kids, the kids, the kids. Whose kids you talking about? Because these children are going to grow up to be adults. What are we showing them? What are we teaching them? As long as you don't see it, it ain't going to bother you. it was interesting because I was on this space, and a lot of people was going back and forth about the things that some of the men have said about the only reason they're not with younger women, young girls, I'm sorry, is because of the law. It's the same. It's the same idealism. These people don't care about the law. They don't care. Mental health, my ass. Crazy or not. He wasn't too crazy to drive there. He wasn't too crazy to buy what he needed. And he targeted a black neighborhood. And if one of us, show me, tell me, one of us who have driven from one part of the country or one state or county to county to go shoot up an establishment full of people who aren't our color. What? I just can't tell y'all. I just can't tell y'all what. I'm so done. And I'm so tired of seeing people cry on TV, and you can see their pain, especially when you lose somebody that should still be here. But because of the negligence of other people, they are gone. People's children, people's mothers and sisters, brothers, uncles, friends. I think I'm gonna have to stop tonight because I have to get my emotions in check, because I am that hit me different. That hit me different because I don't know if these people have children. I don't know if they're going to be okay. Are we going to have to see them standing out here with signs trying to bury their loved ones? And he gets away, right? Because, oh, it's okay. He deleted himself, so it's all right. No, I know people don't want to have a heavy conversation like this, but I don't care. It ain't never made me shut up, and I'm still not going to. These are somebody's family members. We are human beings, and when did we forget that? That we are connected, even if we don't want to be. And that's what they hate about us. They hate us because they know it. They need us more than we need them, but they have made us believe that we need them. That's why I say I'm out here for more than just some conversation. And when that time comes, when I'm able to go into the next phase of it, it may start small, but I'm about to start something. And for those who support that, I appreciate y'all. I'm just tired of seeing it, ain't y'all? Ain't nobody tired yet. My heart goes out to those people in Jacksonville. Cowards. People like him and others who believe it and stand behind these flags and walk and chant and make it seem like we the criminals for just being alive. But ain't nothing wrong with our community, right? We okay. We don't need to help nobody. I just don't believe that. I'm going to come back in the morning early because I can't continue on because I am so upset and I'm just so hurt and whoo, I know I can't save the world, right? I'm just one person. But I refuse to be quiet. And I refuse to continue to play this game like everything's all right. And people may not want to hear it, and that's okay, but I'm coming back in force. It's late. People got their kids to send to school. Many blessings, and I hope that those you love make it to you, make it home to you by the end of the day. Because in this country, your life can be taken within a blink and no one will say a word. Y'all see it, y'all feel it, and you know it. And we're going to keep on and we're going to keep on until we get what we want. I think because I'm such a family oriented person and I love my family so much. I love my sister and brother. I love my nephews. I love my friends. And I don't want anything to happen to anybody, but in this country, you just never know. We might not have boom coming out the sky or something being blown up over here and over there. No, we do it with systematic kindness. We smile in your face. So I'm going to say goodnight. And I appreciate anybody who stopped by. And I'm going to schedule for in the morning. I'm going to be up early. Because I want to continue my conversation. But right now, emotionally, I am not able to. So I'm going to say goodnight. And I appreciate those who did come by, who appreciate or, you know, if you feel you want to assist, we're just trying to get these land permits so we can go and have them in advance. We're getting close. And we just trying to, it's a portion of what we need. But again, like I said, love those, hug those, kiss those, say, call, do. Because you just never know. So many blessings to you all and good night.